This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Broadcasting live from the Capital OTB studios, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America. I'm Seth Merrow. Thanks for joining us. Thanks also to our friends at Gulfstream Park for their sponsorship of this program. Some of the other programming and events here at Capital OTB, Gulfstream Park, champions start here. Fun show this morning. First up, we will give you a reminder that got a couple of races from Dubai. There is a Dubai Saturday card, so races 2 and 3 will be within this program. We're a couple of minutes away from race 2. Race 3 will be about 10:40, but we'll squeeze in some great guests this morning as well. After the upcoming race from Dubai, we have a couple of taped interviews we did yesterday. We talked to Jerry Hollendorfer. He'll come up first. He, of course, has instilled regard in the Risen Star. We also went back to last week and talked a little Unique Bella, Kenthaka, who won the San Vicente, and Jerry also this afternoon has Choo Choo in the El Camino Real at Golden Gate. So we hit on all of those with Jerry Hollendorfer. Grand Motion, he's got a couple of horses in stakes at Laurel today on a nice stakes program, albeit hit by scratches due to the quarantine at Belmont. But we talked with Graham, particularly about Burned, who goes in the Barbara Fritchie today. But we also caught up with thoughts on Ring Weekend, who had the big win last week, an update on Untamed Domain, as well as Irish Warcry, and when that horse will be making his 4-year-old debut. And then those are a couple of taped interviews, but towards the end of the program, Joe Christofek will join us live from Fairgrounds. Big day at the Fairgrounds, obviously, with the Risen Star and another group of nice stakes races down there. So Joe Christofek, the paddock handicapper down there, will give us some thoughts on some of the stakes action today at the Fairgrounds. They're loading in the gate, as you can see, for race 2 in Dubai. Big favorite is Barut, the number 1 horse. I was going to box up the 1, 2, 6, and 10. I thought the 2 and the 6 coming out of that same February race, running first and a close-up second. The 2 and the 6 at prices 5-1 and 13-1 were interesting in Mujib, the number 10 horse at 19-1. So again, I was going to box up the 1, 2, 6, and 10, see what happened there. Barut is a Sheikh Maktoum horse, but chose the number 10. They're off in Dubai. We'll listen to that. We'll come back and get into the program. Stay tuned.
Then came Good Trip, who just slides back a little from Grandon Gentier, then Majib. Next on the outside is Barut, who's trapped out a little bit wide and back. Then came Above Normal. They were followed in turn by Asmam. Over on the inside is Army Bulletin. Bannock went back to the rear. They go through the first 400 metres or so in 25 and at 99. Night Circus shows the way, striding out strongly, a little keen against the rider. Pillar of Society trying to be settled in second position, followed by Mozdawaj. Tafakur's trapped out a shade wide, pupil on the lime over on the inside. Harcourt Street, Good Trip around the outside. Barut's very wide. Grandon Gentier is over on the fence. Majib is between them. They were followed then by Above Normal over on the inside. Asmam, well back in the pack is Army Bulletin, and back at the rear of proceedings is Bannock. Towards the bend they come, 650 metres to go, and Night Circus still full of running as they come to the top of the lane. Out by a length over Mozdawaj in second. Pillar of Society's travelled well the fence. Tafakur's been wide but continues to come on. Good Trip's a lot closer tonight than it was when it won last time out. Trying to track it is Barut. Harcourt Street is between them. Pupil needs a little bit of room, followed by Majib. They come into the straight. Night Circus now collared by Tafakur, and between them Mozdawaj, and Mozdawaj went to the front. Here's Barut, who's gone very quickly. Good Trip's given it away, but Barut sprinted very hard. Went by Muzdawaj inside the final 200 metres. Running on down the outside is Asman, but Barut's going to open right up for a big win. Barut punched out by Simeon, wins easily by 2. Second in Muzdawaj. Third across is Asman, then Pupil, followed by Pillar of Society, Grandon Jetty, and Above Normal making ground. Army Bulletin was next in, Tathakor. Then came Night Circus, Harcourt Street, Bannock. Behind them as they've hit the wire was Majib, and Good Trip, ridden a lot closer tonight, has cracked a run at the rear. Barut takes it out.
Barut, the favorite, pretty easily. I think it was that 6 that I liked a little bit, at 13. I think that horse was second, but hold your tickets because I'm not 100% sure on that. But I am completely sure Barut got it done. In race 2 at Dubai. Another half an hour, we'll have race 3 from Dubai. That'll be plugged into the program a little bit later on. But as promised at the top of the show yesterday, we caught up with Jerry Hollendorfer. He was on his way to the airport to fly from Southern California to Louisiana. And we lost his phone at one point. And so the beauty of being on tape, we were able to edit that part out. But I might have mentioned in there that we lost him for a second. So if it doesn't quite make sense, that's why, because we lost his phone contact and had to call him back. But as I say, with this being on tape, we edited it all together, so it won't be any problem. But coming up next, Jerry Hollendorfer. Happy to be joined now by Jerry Hollendorfer. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
Thanks for taking the time to join us. Always appreciate it. And, of course, big day for you on Saturday down at the fairgrounds in the Risen Star Grade 2 event, $400,000 up for grabs. We are going to take a look at the Lecomte from January 13th while we talk. Watch the stretch run of that. The number 10 horse, the winner, will be Instilled Regard, wins by a chart margin of 3 3/4. And Jerry, as a handicapper, as I look at the past performances, there was a nice bump in the Beyer figure from the maiden breaker in October to the December start in the Los Al Futurity, and that Beyer held up with this performance in the Lecomte. From your perspective, was there an addition in maturity, either mentally or physically, with that move into the Los Al Futurity?
Well, the young horses are still learning, and just everything was good for him down in New Orleans last time we ran. So we hope we can do the same or take a step forward.
Coming out of the race in the Los Al, did you have that confidence that you were going to get that kind of performance? Because that was really a dominating performance in the Lecomte. Were you confident you were going to get that, or was that a surprise to you as well?
Well, you never expect to win by 3 lengths or more. So, I'd have to say that part of it was a little surprising. But we've always really liked the horse, and when Larry Best bought him, the horse was well regarded.
Yeah, over $1 million, and living up to it now. So it looks good. Coming into this off of that win in the Lecomte, certainly that has to be a load off to know that he's going to appreciate the track. After that race, you went back to Southern California. You've been training out there. How's he training up to the race?
He's been doing fine, and his works have all been good.
When did he arrive in Louisiana?
He got in yesterday.
All squared away?
All squared away, he was.
Very good. And let me ask you this. If you win, I'm sure, it's a play it by ear kind of thing, but if you win, will you stick on this trail and go to the Louisiana Derby, or are you going to look at your options?
Well, we didn't decide anything with finality. So, we picked this race, and we want to try to get past that race tomorrow before we decide anything else. So, as you well know, for 3-year-olds, there are many opportunities at this time of year.
Absolutely. Are you headed down?
I am. I'm driving to Los Angeles International right now.
Very good. Travel safe. I want to touch on some other performances recently and get your thoughts, and we want to go back to Unique Bella last week. But before I talk about the race from last week, just want to congratulate you On the Eclipse Award, the champion Filly sprinter, Filly and Mare sprinter, Unique Bella pulls that off. I would think in the minds of the voters that she sealed the deal with the La Brea victory. That was one of the very few categories this year that was a little bit up in the air as they opened the envelope. What was your confidence level going into the Eclipse Award ceremony for Unique Bella in that female sprinter category?
Well, I thought we had a chance to win, and others were telling me that they thought we had a good chance to win. So everybody showed up, and sure enough, we ended up winning, and we're very grateful that we won that award.
And then you come back for the seasonal debut last week in the Santa Maria. We're going to watch the stretch run. She's going to be the number 4 horse, Mike Smith on board. She wins by a chart margin of 9 lengths and just makes this look easy. And I heard a pre-race interview with you where you said you were working and you were trying to relax her, but you thought, you know what, we're trying to relax her, but she just may go out and take them all the way around. That's certainly the way it played out. What were your thoughts after the race, and did Mike Smith have any comments?
Yeah, Mike was quite impressed, and both of our opinions were that she just really got a hold of the track, and it played the way the track was, the way that she liked it. So, she ended up winning by daylight. So, very pleased with her effort going long for first time this year.
Yeah, she had gone 2 turns once last year, but of course that was against 3-year-olds, so it's always a new adventure when they move in against the older horses doing something a little bit new. But we're watching the final few yards of the stretch run here, and she just runs away and hides from this bunch. That leaves your options open. She's now the champion sprinter and made it look easy going 2 turns this past week, so plenty of options. What are you thinking for the next start for Unique Bella?
Well, the Santa Margarita at Santa Anita, so that's the next race that we'd like to run in.
And I have to ask you, we're right down the corner from Saratoga and broadcast from there all season long on the backstretch. And I know the past couple of seasons you've come to Saratoga. Any chance? I know it's a ways out, but maybe a possibility that we'll see Unique Bella in the personal ensign?
Yeah, if we continue to do well, we would certainly look at those races during the summer. And, I'm sure other great fillies and mares will be running there. So we'll just see. We'll try to pick the best spots for her, and we're not afraid to compete either. So, if one looks tough, we might go and do that anyway.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to that possibility. Wanted to get some thoughts on a couple other horses before we let you go, because also last week, Kanthaka, our friends at West Point Thoroughbreds, won the San Vicente with a horse you train. And again, the number 5 will be Kanthaka here. Gets away at the second longest price on the board, 11-1. So the betting public wasn't confident. And with the potential monster from Baffert in there, Axeman, and Axeman, the number 1, will wind up kind of a disappointing 4th at 2-5. But you guys look pretty good in here, winning by 3 1/4 lengths. It's Kanthaka again, the number 5 horse. What did you feel going in? Did you have some confidence? And now what do you feel coming out?
We thought going in that we'd get a decent pace to run at, and we kind of trained that horse to run at other horses. So, he's a very good tactical horse. So, Bob's horse got compromised in the beginning because 1 and 2 both had a lot of speed, and they just went out head and head. But I think Axeman had no choice but to go from the 1 post, especially.
All right, Jerry, I think we lost you there for a second, but you were talking about Kanthaka and saying you anticipated there would be some pace in the race. As you say, the Baffert horse had a little bit of trouble, but seems to have played out just the way you wanted it.
Well, sometimes things work out better than you expect. So, we're very pleased the way our horse ran. He's got a big number, 99 buyer, and we think that he can run longer. So, we'll look for a little bit longer race to run in.
Do you have anything on the calendar that you're particularly pointing towards?
We're going to take a strong look at the Gotham.
Oh, okay.
Mile.
Nice, very
In
good.
New York. So, that would be a good race for him to take another step forward if we could do that.
All right, we'll look forward to that. And Jerry, before I let you go, just have to ask about another one of your runners this Saturday afternoon, and we're going to pull up while we talk the Golden Gate California Derby from January 20th. The number 5 will be Choo Choo. Choo Choo in this race had come up off some nice turf races down in Southern California, moved up to Golden Gate on the synthetic and won nicely. Again, Choo Choo's the number 5 horse here. Back at Golden Gate on Saturday afternoon in the El Camino Real Derby. What do you expect for Choo Choo on Saturday afternoon?
Well, I've left him at Golden Gate. I didn't bring him back down to Santa Anita, so I left him at Golden Gate. He's been working well and coming off a bullet breeze. So, if we got some luck, we feel we have another chance to win there.
And I'm really curious as to what your plans are going forward because, of course, Golden Gate is a synthetic surface, and his earlier races were on turf, albeit his career debut was on dirt at Los Al, but mostly turf and synthetic. But this time of year, you have a talented 3-year-old. What do you do? Do you maybe point for that spiral at Turfway? And, the El Camino Real is a points race, and Turfway is a points race, so you could get some points to move to the Derby, but is the dirt somewhere in the back of your mind, again, with a talented 3-year-old at this time of year?
Well, Mr. Kelly wanted to try the horse on dirt, and I didn't talk to him about that. I talked to Eddie Kane about that, and then we just thought the first race there at Golden Gate, since he was turf, he should probably be able to run on synthetic. So we got the stake win, so then the decision was to go ahead and try for a second stake. And then at some point in time, I would like to try this horse on dirt.
Would you maybe think, because he's run well on the synthetic, to, as I say, maybe try that spiral and get the points to the... But then your dirt experiment is the Kentucky Derby.
Well, I don't know. We're taking one race at a time,
Sure.
So let's try to get by tomorrow and see what we can do after that.
Fair enough. Jerry, as always, we appreciate your taking the time. Know you're very busy, and again, wish you a safe journey down to Louisiana, and good luck with Instilled Regard.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, Jerry Hollendorfer, again, this Instilled Regard in the Risen Star on Saturday afternoon. Jerry Hollendorfer, again, Instilled Regard, and we caught up Choo Choo this afternoon and caught up with Kanthaka and Unique Bella, got updates on those as well. We'll take a break. When we come back, Graham Motion has burned in the Barbara Fritchie, but we caught up with some of his horses as well. That coming up right after this break. Stay tuned.
It may be cold in the Northeast, but in South Florida, the action's hot. This winter, be part of the championship meet at Gulfstream Park, where the fields are deep and the payouts are big. With some of the most competitive turf racing in America, Gulfstream Park is your winter destination for the finest in championship thoroughbred horse racing. And if you're looking for the top jockeys and best trainers, you'll find them all at Gulfstream Park. So play it today. Gulfstream Park. Champions start here.
What if there was a way to become a better horse player, to have a better knowledge of the game, to be more successful? What if there were a way to take what you've learned, what you know, and make better decisions, better choices, to know how to connect the dots? In horse racing, knowledge is a powerful tool, but not the only tool. Race results and replays, past performances and live streaming, wagering from all your digital devices. These too are important tools, and you'll find them all right here at Capital OTB. Capital OTB. Become a better horse player.
In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Welcome back to Racing Across America and Racing Across the World this morning with a couple of Dubai races. That race 2 from Dubai, it was 1-6-8-3, 1-6-8-3 in race 2. Race 3 is about 19 minutes away, just enough time for us to squeeze our Graham Motion interview in. We caught up with him yesterday. He was actually at Palmettos as we spoke to him. But he has Burned and Shirini in a couple of stakes today at Laurel. They have a nice stakes card, as I say. It was affected, however, with the quarantine at Belmont, the Maryland folks not letting in those Belmont shippers. So there was a number of scratches due to that. But still a nice stakes card down at Laurel. Also talked about the big win last weekend from Ring Weekend, Untamed Domain, and his performance in the Dania Beach, the third place finish. Got a little update on Untamed Domain. Also, when we will see Irish Warcry make his seasonal debut, and much more with Graham Motion. That is up next. Stay with us. Happy to be joined this morning by Graham Motion. Good morning, Graham.
Hi, good morning, sir.
Always happy to get you on board, and really appreciate when you take the time. Got a few horses we want to go over this morning, but I want to start. You've got 2 in at Laurel on a really, really nice stakes card on Saturday afternoon. I want to start things off talking about Burned in the Barbara Fritchie. Fillies and Mayors going 7 furlongs in the Grade 2 event, the Barbara Fritchie. And I want to start the conversation taking a look at the November 11th Safely Kept at Laurel. Burned is going to be the number 8 horse here as we watch the stretch run. She will win by a chart margin of 4 1/4. She earns a Beyer of 93, which was a lifetime best Beyer figure. She's now 1 for 1 over the Laurel course. So as a handicapper, this jumps out at me as potentially 2 things. A budding horse for a course with a real appreciation for Laurel, but also with the lifetime best Beyer, she's maybe just getting better at the end of her 3-year-old season and now as we start her 4-year-old season. Am I on to anything with either of those from your perspective?
Look, I think you can make a case for both. Certainly the reason we chose to run her back at Laurel was because she obviously ran so well, and 7-8 seems like a really good distance for her. And secondly, I do think she's improved. She's a filly that's done really well over the winter. I think she's filled out. And this just seemed like a logical race for her to point to. It also gave her plenty of time to kind of get over that race, which was obviously a lifetime best for her.
You mentioned working well. She's been working down at Palmettos, and Shirini, who is in one of the stakes races, and we'll talk about her in a moment, she's been working at Fair Hill. How do you parse out who goes where, and Burned wound up in Florida at Palmettos?
Well, with Burned, really, we picked this race out at Laurel in February, and I really didn't want it to be at Fair Hill and get interrupted by the weather, since she wasn't going to run for a while. So it just made sense to have her down here. Whereas with Shirini, she was on the comeback trail, and I wanted to run her locally on the dirt. Obviously, she ran at Aqueduct a couple of weeks ago, where I thought she was really unlucky to be taken down, to be honest. She did not have a raise the trip that day. So things kind of fell into place in that respect.
And Burned, we saw her up here at Saratoga in our neck of the woods, coaching Club American Oaks, so she's obviously tried 2 turns, but I'm wondering, coming off the 7 furlongs in that Safely Kept that we just saw, and now trying the 7 furlongs in the Barbara Fritchie, is the game plan for her, or was it just the calendar? Is it where this came, great place to start the season, or will you point her more towards sprints this season?
I think this is more what she wants to do.
Okay.
She's a very deceiving filly. In the morning, her work was just very average. She doesn't put a whole lot into her work. She always gave me the impression that she was more of a 2-turn, even a 1.25 mile type filly. But I think looks can be deceiving. Her owners always felt that she was bred to be more of a sprinting type, and I think they're right.
What are you feeling about Saturday afternoon? Because it's a field of 11, and I think you have some salty contenders in there. But as I say, you've got the second best last out Beyer. I think the 6-1 morning line on her is a little bit generous, but the Danny Gargan horse on the rail, Divine Miss Grace, certainly looks very competitive as well. What are your thoughts on Saturday?
Look, it's always a big step up when you go from running against straight 3-year-olds to open company. But I really do feel like physically she's developed over the winter, and we've been pointing her for this race all along. She's coming into it fresh. Hopefully I got enough work into her down here. The track's been in great shape down here. We haven't missed any training, so I certainly feel very good about running her.
All right, let's go a little earlier on the card. The Maryland Racing Media. We're going to take a look at Shirini. We're going to go back to December 2nd because this was her only start on the Laurel surface. So she may be a budding horse for a course too. Shirini is going to be the number 4 horse here. Subsequently, as you said, she went up to Aqueduct and ran in the ladies, came under the wire 3rd, DQ'd to run 5th in there. To me, it looks a little bit like number-wise, and again, I'm a buyer's guy, it looks like she probably has to step it up a little bit, but as handicappers, we always appreciate that 3rd race back off a layoff. She had a long break from September of 2016 until December of last year. This is her 3rd start back. What do you expect for Shirini on Saturday afternoon?
Look, I think it is a step up. It's a more competitive field, perhaps, than she ran against in Aqueduct. I love the Aqueduct race because it was 1 mile and 8, and I think she is a filly that needs all the distance she can get. So cutting back to 1 mile and 16 is not ideal. But like you point out, she had a very good race on the track.
And off of that race, and again, being the 3rd start back, certainly a player this afternoon in the Maryland racing media. So we'll watch that and wish you good luck on both of those. I wanted to go back, though, and get some updates on some other horses and some thoughts going back to last weekend, certainly with the comeback of Ring Weekend. And we're going to watch that, Graham, and we're going to pick it up going into the far turn. And I want your feeling because I always like to root for our friends at West Point. They're based right around the corner. No Terry Finley and Tom Bellhouse, and a lot of local folks are involved in their horses. So I was watching Ring Weekend and rooting for Ring Weekend. Ring Weekend is the number 7 horse, and as we see with the Chicklets here, going to have to make up a lot of ground. And I'll tell you, even at the top of the stretch, I thought, oh, no way. But when he sets down, this was a really nice performance to start the 7-year-old season for Ring Weekend. What were your thoughts as they turned into the stretch and Ring Weekend made the big move?
Yeah, I mean, look, anytime you have Jose riding, you feel very confident. He's just got such a confident way of handling the horses. But I was a little concerned. I had warned him going into the race. I wasn't 100% sure that he was fully cranked up for this race. So the fact that he was able to overcome my training says a lot. I thought it was a really good effort, and I think he benefited from having a break. He'd been running solidly for a year and a half without a break, and I think it's amazing what freshening up can do for a horse. And the other thing with this horse is he really likes firm ground. I mean, Gulfstream, Saratoga in August, he loves these firm turf courses.
And again, we just watched the turn into the stretch and the stretch run, and boy, that was some performance. Again, at the top of the stretch, it was hard to believe he was going to do that, and he did it pulling away. What's the game plan now? Do you have anything on the calendar next for Ring Weekend?
I really don't. The one thing is I don't want to run him back too quickly.
Sure.
I don't know how the numbers came back or anything like that, but I felt like he ran a really good race. And, I want him to have a long year, so we're going to pick and choose his races. Hopefully, try and keep him on firm ground.
All right, I want to get an update also. This is going back a couple of weeks, another West Point runner. And Graham, we're going to pull up the entire Dania Beach here from February 3rd. Untamed Domain coming back, making the 3-year-old seasonal debut. Hadn't been seen since the nice second-place finish in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Goes off as the 6-5 favorite. And the chart says Untamed Domain steadied slightly 2 to 3 wide midway on the first turn. And people will see that. Untamed Domain's the number 6 horse in the yellow West Point Silks. And you'll see a little bit of a steady from Jose Ortiz about midway on the turn here. But that didn't look like much of an excuse for me. But as we get into the backstretch, I think the problem was he got into a real box on the backstretch that he had to work his way out of. And by the time he did, I think the front 2 runners had gotten away a little bit. What was your takeaway from the Dania Beach for Untamed Domain?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think Jose had to use him a little bit in the middle of the race, which I'm not sure was ideal. And I think that's possibly why he came up a little short, and there's no criticism on Jose at all. He just dealt the hand that was given to him. So, look, I think the 2 horses that finished ahead of him are really nice horses. We were coming off a bit of a layoff, and just didn't quite get there, but I'm not sure that a few more strides, he wouldn't have been right there with those horses.
Yeah, and people are kind of seeing it now on the backstretch. He just had nowhere to go for the longest time, and as I say, by the time he kind of gets out and is able to make a move, the front 2 had run away a little bit. What will be the game plan next for Untamed Domain?
So we're going to ship him over to Tampa next week. I have horses stabled there, and breeze him the next couple of weeks on the dirt, see how things go, and if everything goes well, we'll run him back in the Tampa Derby.
So the game plan will be to try the dirt, but you're saying that may still be up in the air as far as how he works over there?
It's a special track. I obviously
Yeah.
want to see him work, but I think, if things go well, I certainly hope to have him show up in the Tampa Derby.
Very good. Now, obviously, given his grass record, you have all kinds of options going forward with him. All right, want to also get a little update because pulled up the Equibase stats and Irish Warcry having a pretty solid string of works at Palmettos so far over the past couple of months, month and a half or so. Irish Warcry, of course, won last year's Holy Bull, won the Wood Memorial, ran second in the Belmont Stakes. Hasn't been seen since the Pennsylvania Derby in September, but as I say, there's a nice steady string of workouts here. Give us an update. I think we have a little video from the February 3rd workout of Irish Warcry down at Palmettos, but give us a little update how he has progressed over the past couple of months working out and what you're expecting from Irish Warcry in the 4-year-old season.
Yeah, I've been really pleased with his works down here. I think he's always been a good workhorse, don't get me wrong, but I feel like his work since we came down to Florida this year have been particularly good. To me, he's grown up. He's filled out. He's a much stronger individual than he was last year. Jose's worked him a couple of times, and he'll ride him not this weekend, but the following weekend in the House Hope at Gulfstream.
Okay, so that'll be the seasonal debut. Very good. Also wanted to touch on a couple of more horses before we let you go, and I wanted to congratulate you because the past Monday night they handed out the Maryland Bred 2017 year-end awards, and a horse under your care winds up being named the 2017 Maryland Bred 3-year-old, Maryland Bred Turf Horse, and Maryland Bred Horse of the Year. Just Howard with a nice record of 4 wins last year, including the Commonwealth Derby at Laurel. He's won over $250,000 in the lifetime. So again, first, congratulations on the win on Monday night, being named Maryland Bred Horse of the Year. But give us a little update on Just Howard.
So he just started back about a month ago. He's just back galloping now. And, should be ready for the local grass racing when it starts up in April.
So that'll be the game plan for him. Wait for Laurel to get back with their grass racing.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we'll mostly keep him local. We tried to take him out to California at the end of a long year last year, and I'm not saying we won't go traveling with him again, but we freshened him up for a month or so at Fair Hill, and I'm excited to get him back on track in April.
Yeah, and as I say, nice way to end the season, a little exclamation point with a little trophy as well, so congratulations there. And finally, I just wanted to touch on, because I really enjoy Tampa Bay racing. I play it a lot during the winter, and certainly that means I've seen a couple of really, really nice performances here in the 4-year-old season, to start the 4-year-old season, from Rafting. Rafting won the Smooth Air last year, finished second in the, a couple of years ago, finished second in the Sam Davis, took a lot of time off from the March of 2016 trying the Tampa Bay Derby until January of this year, but now has had those 2 really nice starts to begin the 5-year-old season. Give us some impressions on the first 2 races for Rafting, and what will be the game plan for him going forward?
Yeah, this is a horse who's always had a lot of talent. I've always thought the world of him. He's had a lot of trouble, mostly with his feet, over the last year or so, which has been we seem to have it sorted out right now. And I've been really impressed with his 2 starts at Tampa. He's run fast both times. We'll step it up with him next time and run him back in the stake on Tampa Derby Day. There's a stake going a mile and 16, so looking forward to that. That'll be his 3rd race back off the layoff also.
Very good. We'll look forward to that. And just out of curiosity, how do you parse out? Again, he's had a couple of races at Tampa to get back. You say you have some horses stabled over there. How do you parse out which horses go to Tampa, which horses are on the other side of the Florida coasts, and which horses maybe stay up and train at Fair Hill?
Well, with Rafting, he goes wherever my main blacksmith is.
Oh, okay. Feet. Yeah, so, there you go.
My main blacksmith is at Palmettos. He's done a great job with him, Bernie Walters. But really, actually, this horse, Rafting, I tried to enter him several times in the same race at Gulfstream, and it just didn't fill. So I was kind of drawn to Tampa for that reason. And it worked out very well. It's obviously a track he handles well. I wish we'd run for a little more money, but look, we got 2 nice races into him, and he can run for the money next time on Tampa Derby Day.
You talked about it with Untamed Domain, and obviously rafting has run well there. Just for handicappers out there, I'd like to hear it from a trainer, because we all feel Tampa can be a quirky surface. Some horses take to it and some don't. Do you find that as a trainer?
Definitely, and I think my biggest concern with Untamed Domain, perhaps, is that it seems to be, right now, it seems to be a very speed-favoring track, and you would watch it a lot more than I would,
yeah.
But it certainly seems to be a very fast track that favors horses that lay close to the pace. And I think for Untamed Domain, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. But, hopefully we'll find out, if he's going to be competitive, and then we can go on to another race from there. So I'm looking forward to getting him over there and training on the surface.
Sounds good. Graham, certainly on Saturday afternoon, we wish you a lot of luck with Burned and Shirini, with the others going forward as well. And again, we appreciate your time this morning.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right, Graham Motion, and again, a couple entrants on a nice stakes card this afternoon at Laurel Park. Thanks to both Graham Motion and Jerry Hollendorfer for taking time to tape some interviews yesterday, updates on horses today, and horses that they have that have run well recently and will be racing, or some horses like Irish Warcry coming off the sidelines. All right, got about 3 minutes to this race 3 at Dubai. Why don't we take our quick break here, and when we come back, the Dubai race will be up next, and also Joe Christofek from Fairgrounds. They've got a great stakes card today. All of that right after this.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Sign up today for Capital OTB's handicapping series and plan your trip to Las Vegas.
In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
Funding your Capital OTB bet account is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Easy Money. Clearly the fastest and easiest method of depositing funds into your account. Make deposits or withdrawals in just minutes. 2. Green Dot Money Pack. Gives you instant access to your funds. Green Dot Money Packs are available at thousands of retailers nationwide. And 3. MasterCard Visa. Simply click on the link from the funding page, enter your account information, and fund your account. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Bravo Zolo went back to the rear as they made the dog leg. 1,400 metres to go into the back straight. Heavy Metal given a breather now. Joining it on the outside, Cosmo Charlie, followed by Richard Pankhurst, the outside of Fantastic Four. Nabilium is out 3 wide, and Bravo Zolo is being ridden along at the rear. 24 and 73 is the first 400 metres. They're about to come off the back, and Heavy Metal shows the way. Sails along for Macau Barcelona, led by a half length over Cosmo Charlie. Next, Fantastic Four down on the inside of Richard Pankhurst. Out wider is Nabilium, and still back at the tail is Bravo Zolo, and about 6 lengths from the front runner. Heavy Metal does it well. They come down the side as Heavy Metal by a half length over Cosmo Charlie. The leader travels pretty strongly here as they come to the top of the straight. Next of all, Richard Pankhurst, Fantastic Four, Bravo Zolo and Nabilium dropped out of it. For home they come, and Macau Barcelona hasn't flinched on Heavy Metal. It sails into the straight, leading by 5 lengths over Cosmo Charlie. Next is Richard Pankhurst, followed then by Fantastic Four and Bravo Zolo. It's going to be an absolute walk in the park for Heavy Metal. In the 5 break, it's out by 7 or 8 lengths over Cosmo Charlie. Running on is Fantastic Four, getting into third, joining Richard Pankhurst in the late stages. But Heavy Metal 7 times over the 1600 metres a winner. It's Heavy Metal winning by 10 lengths, second Cosmo Charlie. A gap off to Fantastic Four, just ahead of Richard Pankhurst. Then Bravo Zolo and Nabilium at the rear. That was as easy as you like. Heavy Metal, something like 5-2 on internationally, and he's well and truly, Frank, those sort of odds. Heavy Metal absolutely jogs up here for Macau Barcelona. And Salim Ben Gedaya. And that's 7 wins over the 1600 metres. Just found the 1900 metres too far last time, albeit still a very, very good effort. But to back the favoured mile, the 1600 metres, and it's been a walk in the park to take out the 5 break stakes for 2018. Heavy Metal, like Exceed and Excel, brings up win number 14 from 57 career starts. 1:36.74 is the time. 1:36.74 is the winner's time, and easy right there for Macau Barcelona, who certainly is having a very, very good season in these silks. 3, 4, 2, 5, 1 and 6 are the numbers. 3, 4, 2, 5, 1 and 6. 1:36.74. Heavy Metal, an easy victor of race number 3.
Yes, he's down really. At this stage you can see, as Craig said in commentary, easy as you like for Heavy Metal, who broke well as he does, got nice early track position on that rail, and they were all playing catch up in behind. Macau Barcelona, nice and simple on this horse, who was much more at home seemingly over this trip than the 1800 metres, 1900 metres even, that he contested last time in round 2 of that Al Maktoum Challenge. This much more his bag, 1600 metres on the dirt, and he does it easy as you like. There were a few in behind who, perhaps Bravo Zolo, for example, one of them didn't fall in love with this surface, or certainly didn't fall in love with the kickback in the Godolphin Blue. You can see when you're not quickly away from stall number 1, it can be quite tricky. You have to deal with a lot of kickback for the first time. I don't think he's been in love with that, and he's been eased down. Cosmo Charlie, well, he's run well, I think. He's just no match for this horse.
3 and 4 there in the Dubai third. Again, the big favorite, Heavy Metal, gets it done in Dubai. Happy to be joined now on a big day down in New Orleans. Fairgrounds, lots of stakes action, and the man who you can trust all day long in the paddock, our friend Joe Christopher joins us by phone. Joe, how are you?
I'm great. I'm really excited. I mean, this is the first race the Risen Star is on the championship series run. 50 points for the winner for the Kentucky Derby, 85 overall, and just a sign that we're taking a big step toward the first Saturday in May.
And give us a little update. What's the weather like down there today?
Man, when I first got here, it was freezing like it was all over the country, and I could not walk to work today with my sport coat on. It's warm. It's going to be 80 degrees, probably sunny, fast and firm. Since it's gotten warmer here, and this is something to pay attention to all day, the track's been pretty forward. It's been inside. It's been speed. I don't know if that's going to change today, but I would definitely keep tabs on the early dirt race.
That's nice. You're close enough you can walk to work?
Yeah, it's amazing. And I actually found the apartment on Craigslist, which I didn't get swindled, and I can walk to the track.
Very good. So it all comes around. All right, let's get some thoughts. We'll start with the two nice 3-year-old races, the Risen Star for the boys and the Rachel Alexandra for the girls, and get some thoughts there. The Risen Star, Joe, we're going to pull up a replay of the Lecomte because, of course, Instilled Regard is going to take a lot of action today. Talked with Jerry Hollendorfer earlier, and I think he has some confidence coming off the nice win in the Lecomte. Instilled Regard will be the number 10 horse here. Principe Guillerme, the number 12. Snapper Sinclair, the number 2 horse. They are all back this afternoon. Bravazzo, I was talking about the race with your friend and mine, Brian Nadeau. Bravazzo for him was a little bit intriguing at maybe a price for Wayne Lukas and Gary Stevens. I put that one in the bottom of my mix. I like the top two from the Lecomte. I thought Supreme Aura, the number 6 horse from Michael Stidham, might be a little bit interesting as well. What are your thoughts on the Risen Star?
Yeah, it's a fascinating race. And, you haven't mentioned Noble Indy for Pletcher. He draws inside and he has speed, so that might help him. Although Steve Asmussen said Snapper Sinclair, he's going to go just like he did in the Lecomte. And he was confident in Snapper Sinclair as well as Principe Guillermo. Instilled Regard checks all the boxes, the pedigree, the connections, the professionalism, the stamina, the upside. I think at this early stage in February, he's a legitimate Kentucky Derby Triple Crown type contender. Principe Guillermo, I think he's still kind of learning. His first 2 races were off the charts easy for him, and then he had to overcome adversity in the Lecomte when he was hung wide in the first turn, wide throughout, and still finished well to be second. I agree with you, Seth. I think whoever has the better trip between Instilled Regard and Principe Guillermo is going to win. But there are so many intriguing horses. Brian's right on with Bravazzo. That race he won at Oaklawn was 2 seconds faster than the other split of the race, which was a very good race. Supreme Aura's bred to go long by Candy Ride. He's looked really good in his 2 sprints, like a horse that's begging for more distance. And then High North had a terrible trip in the Kentucky Jockey Club, and he still ran on to be 4th. Brad Cox is a leading trainer here. It's tough to toss him out. So a fascinating addition to the Risen Star.
Yeah, and as you say, it's a point race, so certainly some players on that Derby Trail likely to come out of this, and players on the Kentucky Oaks Trail likely to come out of the Rachel Alexandra, which is a little earlier on the card this afternoon. The Rachel Alexandra Grade 2 event, mile and a 16th, 4 to the 3-year-old fillies. Silver Bullet Day, Wonder Godot just couldn't get best, Stronger Than Ever. I think Stronger Than Ever is a better horse than maybe the odds indicated that day. That might have been her coming out party. So I don't hold it against Wonder Godot, and I've liked her throughout the career. But I couldn't put her over Monomoy Girl. I have Monomoy Girl on top over Wonder Godot. Classy Act and Testing 1-2 underneath. While we talk, we're going to pull up the race from Churchill Downs, the Goldenrod, and watch Monomoy Girl run second in there to Road to Victory, a very close-up second. This was after ripping off 3 straight wins to start the career. That's what's going to attract the attention. She, in this Goldenrod, a close-up second with a solid 91 buyer, plus the bullet workout underneath. I think she's going to take the action, and as I say, off all those factors, I put her on top. But I'm really interested to see what Wonder Godot is going to do this afternoon. Your thoughts on the Rachel Alexandra?
Man, it's a rider's race. There's a few horses in here with speed, including Monomoy Girl. And Monomoy Girl ran a winning race in the Goldenrod. She just got nailed late by Road to Victory, and that race gutted Road to Victory. We have not seen her since. She's not even on the work tab, so I don't know what's going on with her. Monomoy Girl, Brad Cox, the team, they said right after that race that this was the race they were going to point for. They're going to give her some time off. She's trained great. She's the class of the field, but she's drawn outside and there's other speed. I mean, if she can sit and relax outside of the likes of, Classy Act and maybe Wonder Godot, I think her chances will improve, although she might be fast enough to just clear off and go over a racetrack that's favoring speed. She's clearly the horse to beat. Testing 1-2, the Louisiana bred. She's won her last 3 races by a combined 27 lengths, and she's looked really good doing it. She just hasn't beaten anything. Star Guitar is a great story here in Louisiana. A Louisiana legend as a racehorse. He's turned into a really nice sire. He's looking for his first graded stakes winner. Testing 1-2 in the Rachel Alexandra and Give Me a Minute in the Risen Star. He's well represented, and I think this filly has some talent that I think she's going to be a square enough price. She's a Julie for Steve Asmussen. You could throw out that A other than. She was absolutely left at the start, finished very well in a race that she needed, and I know Mr. Steve likes her, and she's 12-1 in the book. And again, there should be an honest pace for her to run at. So As intriguing as the Risen Star is, I think the Rachel Alexandra is right there with it.
On a very good stakes card, and let's take a look at a couple others, because we were talking before we went on the air, and I think you have something maybe a little bit clever in the 6th race, the Albert Stahl Memorial, mile and 16th on the grass. Your thoughts on that Stahl Memorial? And as I say, something a little clever here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Mom's on Strikes on Fire, right? She's won 3 races in a row. She's going to be the likely favorite. You've got Giada Vegas, who just missed behind her last time. You've got Halle Bell, an up-and-coming 3-year-old. You've got I'm Betty G. These horses are going to take money. 5 Hearts is sneaky for me. Claimed for $40,000 by Stidham, who also has the 3-year-old filly involved in Halle Bell, who's got a shot. But she's drawn on the rail, and she ran from off the pace last time, something that she hadn't done in quite some time, and she looked really good doing it. And I know it was against Easier, but she's going to fly under the radar, and there's not too many jockeys in the country I'd rather have in a turf stake than Joe Bravo. He's going to be able to do what he wants, either go to the lead if the pace is slow or sit the pocket trip if the pace is fast. I think 5 Hearts has a really, really live shot in the Al Stahl Memorial today.
8-1 on the morning line, and just looking at the rest of the field, not going to surprise me if that holds up. But you mentioned Joe Bravo, who's on board. He's having a nice meet. He's Jersey Joe, but he's doing okay down in Louisiana. We're about, we're a ways into the meet now. You've been there for a while at this current meet. Joe Bravo with good numbers. Jockeys and trainers, who's standing out to you at this point?
Man, we have a great jockey column here. I mean, Miguel Mena and Sean Bridgman, who barely get a sniff at Churchill in the fall, are the 1-2 riders. A guy like Robbie Alvarado, who's always prominent in the jockey standings in Fairgrounds and Churchill, he's not doing well. He's actually leaving for Florida next week in a piece of news to ride First Call for Dale Romans, which does make a lot of sense for Robbie with all the 3-year-old contenders Dale has. Brad Cox, Joe Sharp, they're battling atop the trainer standings. Amos is doing well as always. Al Stahl, Mike Stidham. Brett Calhoun's been on a roll, and Steve Margolis is a name to watch. His arrow's been pointing up. He's been on a nice little streak here in the last few weeks as well. So really good jockey colony, really good trainer colony. Adam Biscuit's on the jockey side, coming over from England, his first meet in the United States, and he's made a really, really solid impression as well on the rider side. Really good colony of jockeys and some top trainers here, and some really nice young horses we see on a daily basis.
No question about it. And before we let you go, one more stakes thought on, as I say, a really, really nice Saturday afternoon card down at the Fairgrounds. Let's get some thoughts on the Fairgrounds handicap. Grass race, about 1 mile and an eighth. Boy, nice full field of 12 in here. Mr. Understood, Granny's Kitten, certainly a lot of familiar names. Your thoughts on the Fairgrounds handicap?
Yeah, Mr. Misunderstood's 8 for 8 on turf, and the way I've been going this meet, my second choices have been winning probably more than my top picks. I picked him second, so that bodes well for him. I picked Synchrony. He's been training through the wind here for Mike Stidham, and he really, really improved when moving to the turf last year. Second best in the Red Bank. Won an optional claiming 2 other than at Fairgrounds here last March, and I think he's set for a huge campaign on the turf. Mr. Misunderstood has never faced older horses. This is the toughest task he's faced to date. He can win, but I'm going to give Synchrony a slight edge over him.
Sounds good. Joe, obviously we appreciate your taking the time this morning on what is clearly going to be a very busy day down there. We look forward to your thoughts all afternoon long from the paddock. Good luck this afternoon.
All right, great. Always a pleasure, Seth. You guys enjoy a great racing day. See ya.
Thanks a lot. Joe Christofek, again, paddock commentator down at Fairgrounds. They have a really, really nice day slated for today, highlighted by that Risen Star. Another track with a big day, Laurel. As I say, they got hurt a little bit. You'll see it as you look at the Laurel program this afternoon with that quarantine at Belmont. A couple of the stakes took a real hit, 5 or 6 scratched out because they're not allowing horses in. There was actually a horse euthanized, I think out of the Tommy Albatrani barn at Belmont, so there's a quarantine there currently. So we'll see how that situation plays out. But as I say, it affected Laurel a little bit this afternoon. But still a nice stakes card there, highlighted by the Barbara Fritchie, General George, the John Campbell at Laurel. We'll have that on the network this afternoon, as well as the fairground races and much more. Let me hit you with some of the promos and events here at Capital OTB. First up, it is a Fan Appreciation Day today at the Plattsburgh branch. If you're a patron at the Plattsburgh branch, we want to see you swing out between noon and 5 today. Give us our chance to say thank you to you. There'll be a contest, food and beverages, all the normal tips of our hat Fan Appreciation Day promotions at the Plattsburgh branch on this Saturday afternoon. Coming up on Monday, President's Day. First programming note, we will have an OTB Live on Monday. I'll be in because a lot of the tracks will be running, so keep that in mind. We'll be here giving out some thoughts Monday afternoon, but there's also a $100 Trifecta Challenge promotion. You can find more about that at the website, capitalotb.com. This coming Wednesday, there's a $200 Pick 4 online contest. More information on how you can get your chance to participate at capitalotb.com. A couple of bonus days again this week. First on Wednesday, there's the 1% Florida bonus. You play the appropriate amount and whatnot on Florida Racing, Tampa, and or Gulfstream, and you get that 1% bonus. And use your Touchtone phone with your Capital Bets account on Thursday, and you get 2% back. So the 2% Touchtone bonus coming up on Thursday. More information on all the particulars, again, at the website. And just a reminder, mark it on your calendar. Friday, our friend Dick Powell here at the Clubhouse Racebook with a $500 bankroll. It should be a lot of fun. The bankrolls are always a lot of fun. And we got Dick coming in this Friday with the $500. Check the website for more info on how you can participate. And of course, you can always participate by coming here at the Racebook and putting your name in the hat where folks are randomly selected. That's coming up this Friday. Always a lot of fun. We want to see you here. All right, I'm going to wrap things up. First, thanks to our friends at Gulfstream for their sponsorship. Gulfstream Park, champions start here. Fun show. Jerry Hollendorfer and Graham Motion on tape earlier in the show, catching us up on some of the runners today and some of the runners over the past few weeks and what their plans may be going forward. We just talked to Joe Christofek with previews on some of the stakes action at the fairgrounds. If you missed any of it, the show typically goes up YouTube or the podcast version a little bit later. You can check out and catch up, as I say, if you missed any of that via those avenues. All right, I'm going to wrap things up as it is the top of the hour, but I'll remind you I'll be back in, an hour, 15 minutes or so as we will jump back in with a Saturday edition of OTB Live. Tomorrow morning we're back at 10 o'clock with more Racing Across America. And again, Monday we're back with OTB Live as well on the holiday, so keep that marked on your viewing calendar. Wrapping things up for this edition, however, enjoy the racing this afternoon. We'll see you in about an hour and 15, an hour and a half. See you then.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.